So I was friends with Moe Norman, and he was a character, but he also had this amazing golf swing. I want to talk about the 5 most common things people get wrong about Moe's golf swing. Hey, welcome to the channel today. I want to do a 2-part series. This is part 1 of the things that people get wrong about Moe's swing. And I'm going to do this because there's a lot of information about Moe out there. There's lots of videos and you hear Moe talking about his swing. I'm here to clarify some of that. The first thing I want to discuss is I don't see his swing as a methodology. And I know because people talk about Moe Norman's swing method or the single plane swing method. I want to step back for a second. I want to talk about, is it a method or is it a discovery? Let's talk about that, because in my opinion, this body is a machine. And we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. I'm trying to hit that golf ball on the ground with this stick. Stick's got loft, it's got mass, and I want to be super consistent at this. I want to hit the ball long and straight, as consistent as possible. So that's the task I'm trying to achieve. And I got to do it with this mechanism, this body. And so all I have is this machine and this tool and that golf ball on the ground. And so look, there's a lot of ways to get it done. Turn your TV on right now, watch the LPGA Tour or the PGA Tour. You're gonna see everybody trying to accomplish the same thing. We're all trying to take this stick, hit that ball on the ground, into that hole out there and hit it straight and long distances. So the question becomes, what's the easiest way to do this? How do I simplify this? Well, it goes back to the mechanism, because if I say I wanna simplify the swing, a couple things you notice right off the bat is you're trying to go someplace. You're trying to get to the moment of impact. I'm trying to get here. We're all trying to get here to impact. Okay, that means the face is square, the club shaft is tilted, I got my body in position, I want to add speed. Okay, so we gotta get to impact. So then the question becomes, well, what's the best way, easiest way to get there? Well, what does that mean? And so maybe I want to make less movement. So maybe I can put myself in a position that I tilt less. Maybe I can put my arms in a position where I can rotate them less, so I don't have as much rotation. Maybe I can put the shaft in a position that makes it more repeatable to get back, where my body has to do less up and down. And you see where I'm going with this isn't it more of a discovery of what's the easiest way to use this machine to take this club and hit that golf ball? And it becomes a discovery and not a method. Because to me, a method is taking a certain way of doing something and developing a separate way of doing it. Moe had a unique way of doing it. No one really, until you see Bryson DeChambeau, but no one really kind of had this look about them at address. You'd say, well, Moe's swing looks so different. There's a reason for that. And that reason is because he's taken this machine, he's ignoring the rules that you guys live by. We can go through some of those rules if you want to. One of them being hang the arms down below the shoulders. One of those rules is place the club behind the ball. You know, you don't even know that's a rule, but everybody says, well, put the club behind the ball. Did you know that that is not where you're going to impact? You'll impact in a much different position than putting the club behind the ball, because your body will be in a different rotation, bend, side bend, in a different position. My point to this is you're following some rules. Maybe you've seen guys do it on TV. Maybe somebody taught those rules to you at a golf lesson. But Moe didn't have any rules. And what he figured out was, hey, if I set my body up in a certain way and I put the club behind the ball in a certain way and I create these lines, I talked to Moe a lot about his lines, the lines of his arms, and I create this spatial relationship where the club sits on the same impact it's going to plane. It makes all this easier to accomplish. It makes it easier to take this machine, put the club at address, and return this machine with this golf club to that moment that I want to be at impact. You see, it's a discovery. It's not a methodology. I want you to look at what Moe did as something that you should do and model to simplify your golf swing. Not as, well, I'll just take a piece of that and try it. Everything Moe did related to itself. There's a reason for it. And if you take that approach, that there's a reason behind everything Moe did, there's a reason behind his arm position. That's what allowed his hand position, which allowed his alignment, which allowed the rotation, which allowed the tilt. You know, all these things are connected because now it makes this position from here easier to get back to this position of impact. Everything that I'm doing right here by matching and modeling Moe makes impact easier, right? It's making my ability to go from here to here to here easier. That's the discovery he made. So why would you want to ignore part of that discovery. So that's the first thing, is understanding the Moe swing is a discovery and not a method. Now the second concept that people get way wrong on Moe swing is the grip. And I'm gonna cover this again, and this is gonna lengthen this video out a little bit, but you gotta understand this. There's videos out there where Moe is saying, I use 10 fingers, 10 finger. There's people that call it a baseball grip. Let's just go through this one more time, and you can hear the exasperation in my voice with this, because I talk about this a lot. As a matter of fact, I just got a new, people send me videos of Moe all the time, and here's a couple of those videos you're gonna see. Or these are actually pictures people send me. Look at his hand position. He's overlapping in these sequence. And this is a recent one. This is the first time I saw these pictures for the first time a few weeks ago. Moe overlapped his hand position. He overlapped. And then in 1994, he started using a 10 finger position, where he took his hand from an overlapping position and went to 10 finger. But he never had a baseball grip. Because let me explain. A baseball grip is when I take my thumb, I wrap it around like this, I grab this hand in the palm, and now I have a baseball grip. Not that I'm a great baseball player, but that's what you generally see in baseball. Moe didn't have that. When he was younger and he won every tournament like this, he placed his hands in an overlapping position where his lead hand's on the golf club and the trail hand's in here, and the pinky sets in an overlapping position. His thumb is tucked into this hand, and there is his grip position. It's an overlapping hand position. That is Moe's hand position when he won all his tournaments and played. As he got older, and he got influenced by a guy named Jack Kirkendall with Natural Golf, he moved his hand down to 10 finger. Now, the first thing I want to say to that is, it's never been in the palms. He never had the club in the palms of his hands, but he thought he did. Sometimes he would demonstrate, look, Todd, it's here. And then he would go and hit from there. I spent my time looking very deeply at the positions he was actually in and what he could accomplish with those positions. If you grab the club in the palms of the hand, you cannot put the club in the position Moe puts it in. He did not have it in the palms. Even though sometimes he says, yeah, I have it in my palms, he didn't. What he did is he had the palm lined up with the shaft angle. Let me explain. So the lead hand position, neutral, he had it in the heel pad of the hand where he could leverage the golf club. Look at any one of Moe's swings, you'll see an angle here. This angle is created from this hand being in the proper place. If he had this lead hand too high into the palm, he wouldn't have been able to produce that angle at the top. So that's the first thing, is just understanding that he never had it in the palm of his lead hand. Now the trail hand's interesting because of his tilt, he's in a rotation. And this rotation is allowing him to put this hand in a non-rotational position. So you have this hand in a leveraged and full range position. So in other words, I can have this arm in a full range of rotation. I can leverage the club with an angle, which is called radial deviation, and I can ulnar deviate back to square. So this hand is working like this. Full range, radial, down, unhinge, full range, ulnar deviation. So that's what this hand is doing, just like this, very simple. Well, this hand's moving non-rotationally. It's doing this, back and down. But I must not inhibit this motion. In other words, if I grab this hand in the palm, I will not be able to produce a full radial deviated wrist position. So what I want to do is I want to line this up correctly. See how it's lined up? I want to line this up correctly, but I don't want to inhibit the angles of the wrists. And so this hand's non-rotational. The thumb is tucked into the palm of the hand. I'm overlapping, and now I can take the club, I can radial deviate, create an angle, and I can hit with that angle and produce speed. So there's the alignment you're gonna see with Moe, and neither of these hands in the palm. My thumb is actually in the palm of that hand, and I'm able to go ahead and set it on the single plane like Moe did, leverage the club, and then strike. So that's the point, is that people get this way wrong. They start saying, oh, Moe had it in the palm of his hands. He didn't. They start saying he had a baseball grip. He didn't. It was a grip related to the positions of his body. So he had a tilt. He had this arm in full range. He had this in a position where it's ulnar deviated, but he could radial deviate. He had this hand in a non-rotational position. And now he started, and because of all that, the club started and will impact on the same plane. So what you're getting now is an understanding of the grip position. But one of the things that I want to close with is that this grip position, this hand position, is relative to body position. So you watch Moe's, don't just take one element, because a lot of people went out and they said, well, I'm gonna grip in the palms like Moe. Well, they didn't have the body position, and plus it's not in the palms. So they started losing speed. Well then, and we'll talk about that next video. People say, well, you're gonna lose speed with this swing. You will not lose speed if you get the hands correctly placed, where you can use the wrist correctly, with the position of the body, which is all related. And now with these positions, you can leverage the club and release that leverage and produce speed, and you won't have the problems that so many people have because they get Moe's grip wrong. So those are the two things I want to talk about. Moe's swing is a discovery of a simple way to play. And number two, he did not have it in the palms. He had a perfect grip relative to the position of his body to leverage the club and produce speed. Hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video on this series.